So, as a huge comic book fan, I'm always keeping track and looking out for any game that appeals to comic books, whether that's the Lego games or the Arkham games. So, with all of this new information coming out about Spider-Man PS4 or Marvel Spider-Man or whatever you want to call it, I'm even more excited for this game coming out. Now, I'm excited for multiple reasons. Number one, Spider-Man is my favorite comic book hero. I've mentioned this before. My overall favorite superhero, if not my overall favorite character in fiction at all, right? So to see a game seem to have so much love and care in it by developers like Insomniac that have a pretty good track record, and I played Sunset Overdrive and I love it. And if it's anything like that in terms of detail and stuff, I know I'm gonna love the game. And after, a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a flop, but the criticisms of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, even ones that I gave, I'm just glad that this game exists, and I hope that it's all, what it's cracked up to be. So, some of the things that I'm really looking forward to and that I really love about, Insomniac's version of Spider-Man is, well, first of all, just talking about it real quick, the combat is looking actually kind of smooth and dynamic. It doesn't completely take you out of the mode or two different feelings. Certain games have, that's action and adventure, sort of go from being, adventure to action. So the camera shifts and changes what it's focusing on. And it makes sense, you're fighting, but it always feels kind of like a jerk, like a jerking motion. It goes from having your target be on everything to having it be on just a fight, and it's a little bit jarring, as where from the footage that we've seen, brought to us by Game Informer, thanks Game Informer, the combat seems to do that, but without that large jerking motion. The camera seems to be very seamless when it's switching from him, fighting, and to him just, normally, doing his regular Spider-Man things. And another thing, he's flipping around like a damn acrobat. Come on now, this game will make you feel more like Spider-Man than ever before, and that's really their goal, and I really love that approach. Let's also talk about New York. Now, I sort of gave compliments to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 for their rendition of New York, despite it, I said it looks decent for the sort of game that it was, and I still hold true to that. The world of New York look decent. Aesthetically, it looks decent. But this game, dude, New York has so much life to it. Just in the way that it looks. Now, I'm not even talking about civilians or whatever, even though this game trumps Amazing Spider-Man 2 in that as well. It's just, there's so much color, and it looks so dynamic, and it just looks like a playground and a park for Spider-Man to be in. And the fact that you can, free run and do parkour and stuff, alongside with web swinging inside of this big space, and the map is going to be several times larger than Sunset Overdrive, which already has a pretty decently big map. Dude, I can't wait. As someone who's from New York, who lives in New York, to see all of this and to see the sort of character that New York seems to be on its own is just great, and I'm sure it'll be like that for everyone, even people who live in other states, right? New York seems like a character of its own. And to see that come into play with how, we experience the world of Spider-Man will just be great to see. And speaking of the web swing, dude, again, I gave props to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Beanox for their rendition of web swinging, and it's a simple and very bare bones system that works for the game that it's in, because the entire game is kind of bare bones, to be honest. But this game, the one thing that I really like, and Insomniac, you will get even if this game flops, which I don't think it will, but even if it flops, I will always praise Insomniac for doing this. Web swinging seems to be it's a constant acting motion. You can't, it's like a rhythm. You have to gain up that rhythm in order for you to do what you do, in order to traverse through New York. It seems like at first, when we first start playing it, we'll have to get used to it. It'll be like a bit of a learning curve. And then as we upgrade him to get faster, we'll have to adapt with that. And I really like that, because it requires our attention to always be on web swinging. And then if you have that mixed in with like, you know, like missions and stuff that we have to do, like they showed in the demo at last year's E3, that would be some great stuff. That means we'll really have to focus on like learning properly in terms of timing, especially since this is a physics-based web swinging game. So if you know, let go of your swing at the peak, you will go higher. If you let go of it towards at the bottom, you'll just move farther. And I really like that. It's like you're on a pendulum, as you should be, because you're swinging, right? So I really like that web swinging is like, it's a constant acting motion, right? And it really fits for Spider-Man. And again, if the traversal in this game is anything like it was in Sunset Overdrive, where it's a constant motion, then I'm gonna enjoy this too, right? Obviously this is, you know, ramped up much more because, you know, you're Spider-Man, but I can just see from the clips that Game Informer provided us, I can see that I am just gonna love this web swinging system, and it might be the best one yet. I know a lot of people love Spider-Man 2, but it might just be the best one yet. Now let's talk about the story. Now, I'm not gonna say much here, but one thing that I really appreciate is that Insomniac recognizes what makes a Spider-Man story great, and that's Peter Parker and Spider-Man's worlds colliding. And it's up to Peter Parker, the man behind the mask, to fix whatever problems is going on as Spider-Man. Like, it's Peter Parker first, Spider-Man second. I really enjoy that because as fans of Spider-Man, we can really relate to that in a sense, because we know how a Spider-Man story should be written. There's over 700 issues, almost 800 issues of Spider-Man comics that they could take inspiration from, right? So this story seems to be, at least from the premise, seems to be a really good story. And fun thing is, Mr. Negative might not even be the main villain, right? Which I'm excited about. So, you know, and then, you know, the suits. I mean, quick one-off with the suits. If there's gonna be a lot of suits in here, like, dude, that's gonna be insane. A lot of suits. I mean, I do think, just a fun feature, I'm not gonna lose sleep over if they don't have it, that we should be able to change colors of certain suits. Like, you know, there's like a color palette, or maybe they have color sets or something. If it doesn't have it, whatever. I just think it'd be something cool to have, but again, if it doesn't have it, whatever. And yeah, that's why I'm personally excited for Spider-Man PS4, and I have a bunch of ideas of videos I can make talking about this game that I'm excited to do. So, you know, if you guys like this video, first of all, tell me what you guys think down below. Are you excited for this game? Well, what features excite you the most? And check out Game Informer. Like, any news regarding this game, Game Informer is a place to go. Right, that's where I got all of this information from, and where a bunch of other YouTubers got all this information from. So, without further ado, let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. If you're new and you like what I do and you want to see more of this content, hit that subscribe button. Again, check out Game Informer in the link below. And until next time, I'll see you. Wait, I'm almost forgetting. Spider-Man has quips, right? In the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I praised his quips and that, but apparently they wrote like a lot of quips for this game. Dude, I know some people might get bored of it. I'm a fan of dad jokes and cheesy ass jokes, and Spider-Man is literally the epiphany of that. So, Insomniac, thank you. Right, I cannot wait. It's a shame that I'm this excited over a character's dialogue, but dude, I can't wait. So without further ado, goodbye.